Hasbro has unveiled a new version of Monopoly targeted at Christian women. The game, titled Ms. Monopoly Church Edition, will task you with recruiting all the other players into a pyramid scheme. You go around the board buying starter kits for various multi-level marketing organizations. If other players land on the starter kit you already own, they're forced to go to a party and then pay into your business as they're helplessly suckered into your downline. Collect a full set of same-colored MLMs, and you'll have a monopoly at your church or neighborhood's main supplier of overpriced oils, handbags, and plastic storage containers.
Man.
Candles, essential oils, soaps, juices, the list goes on and on.
And then the game itself, of course, is sponsored by official brands like Plexus, Young Living, Mary Kay, Avon, and you get a free coupon for those products when you buy the game. And then here's the real kicker. When you pass go, you'll also pay the bank $2,000
Why is this?
for all the products you're forced to buy. By the end of the game, everyone will be broke, and the real winner will be the men who launched the deceptive MLM business and suckered women into it in the first place.
And is it only women? I
think
is it
so.
Just specifically leave the men out?
No, it's about time. Hello.
So men get paid less, and their only options are to invest in women's
serious?
businesses.
Yes.
So now you're going to cry about that?
No, I'm just not buying the game.
It's called capitalism.
Stupid.
Okay, let's move on.
Ron said it.
You know what we're about to do? We're about to get real. We're about to have conversations that Christians have behind closed doors, the scary, raw ones, the ones that make you feel uncomfortable. That's where we're going. Why? Because we're family. Ustedes son mi familia.
So this is the Brian and Janelle podcast. She's Janelle, and I'm Brian. And if you don't want to miss anything, all you got to do is just hit subscribe and get that notification whenever we drop a new episode. This is the Brian and Janelle podcast. So we're going to hit close to home on something in church culture. So we're going to be gentle here, but I want to tell you how we get there. And it's with this new Hasbro Miss Monopoly. You've seen this pop up, Ron, a bunch in the news. I've got a couple of articles about it. People are going crazy. Sarah and I were laughing about it yesterday. I told her that there's this Miss Monopoly where the concept is that women make more than men. And she goes, what, isn't it, you mean game of life, right? Because that's where you get a career and you're assigned a salary. I'm like, no, Monopoly. She's like, well, how does that work? I go, forget the rules. It's funny.
It's kind of cool, though. I looked at it.
Yeah, the way it works.
The way it works is nice. So when you pass go, you get paid more. You start off
If
with
you're a
more if you're a woman. But the only reason I wanted to stop here is because they also highlight inventions specifically that women have made throughout history.
Yeah, so
and
you're
I
not
like
buying
that.
property.
That part I like.
Yeah, you're not buying property. You're investing in women originated ideas.
That's pretty cool.
Right?
Yeah.
And is it only women? I
think
is it
so.
Just specifically leave the men out?
No, it's about time. Hello, that we highlight.
So men get paid less, and their only options are to invest in women's businesses.
Yes.
So now you're going to cry about that?
No, I'm just not buying the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's called capitalism.
Stupid.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. I'm not even going to say anything. Go ahead.
Ron said it. But with specificity, if you're a Monopoly enthusiast, female players start with $1,900 from the bank. Men get $1,500.
Yeah.
Women also get an extra $40 every time they pass go. So that's an easy one.
I love
Ladies,
that.
go ahead and play together,
No,
and
let
then
me
the playing
stop.
field's level.
Yeah.
We're not playing.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I like that. But then I was like, oh, no, forget it. Because then Len would be like, I'll stay home with the babies. You handle stuff.
Yeah.
Forget that. I don't like that.
But then I'm looking through Facebook yesterday, and I don't know how many times a day, but probably 2-3 times a day, I laugh out loud at a headline from the Babylon Bee. Now, the Babylon Bee, if you don't know, is a Christian news satire site. It's all fake news, intentionally fake, and it's satire. It's supposed to be funny. They take real headlines, and they make us laugh by altering them and making them silly.
And oftentimes they're about the church, pointing back at us, like an inside joke amongst church people.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
one
it's
of them,
kinda
one of
cool.
my favorites of all time was men's ministry, hopelessly lost in woods behind the church in the midst of a wild at heart.
Oh,
something.
that's cool.
And I totally butchered the headline. So somebody at Babylon Bee decided, let's have some fun with Miss Monopoly. And this is funny because there's some truth in it, okay? But don't get mad at me right away. But here's the headline. New version of Monopoly for Christian women. New version of Monopoly for Christian women has you recruit all the other players into a pyramid scheme.
Well, more, yeah.
It's Ms. Monopoly Church Edition.
Yeah.
So when you look at the satirical article, here's what it says. Hasbro has unveiled a new version of Monopoly targeted at Christian women. The game, titled Ms. Monopoly Church Edition, will task you with recruiting all the other players into a pyramid scheme. You go around the board buying starter kits for various multi-level marketing organizations. If other players land on the starter kit you already own, they're forced to go to a party and then pay into your business as they're helplessly suckered into your downline. Collect a full set of same-colored MLMs, and you'll have a monopoly at your church or neighborhood's main supplier of overpriced oils, handbags, and plastic storage containers.
Yeah.
Man.
Candles, essential oils, soaps, juices. The list goes on and on.
Oh, yeah. And then the game itself, of course, is sponsored by official brands like Plexus, Young Living, Mary Kay, Avon. And you get a free coupon for those products when you buy the game. And then here's the real kicker at the end, last paragraph. When you pass go, you'll also pay the bank $2,000.
Why is this?
For all the products you're forced to buy.
Yeah. And you have to add onto your garage to store said product.
By the end of the game, everyone will be broke. And the real winner will be the men who launched the deceptive MLM business and suckered women into it in the first place.
Wow. There is so much truth in there.
Somebody's offended now because you're part of one of these. And I'm not mad at you. Because here's what I want to talk about. And there's some interesting articles about this. But if this is funny, which a lot of us are laughing about it right now, there has to be truth in it, right?
Yeah. And truth be told, I've been in 3 of these before. So
I've been in some too. I've been in some, and my mom.
Yeah, my parents were in a couple.
Yeah. And there's probably everybody's thinking of somebody, either themselves or someone they know,
People
right?
that we love, yeah.
And I think what we have to examine is not the headline here, that it's funny that someone would say the church edition is multi-level marketing of Monopoly. But I think it's worth asking, what is it about multi-level marketing that's so attractive to Christian women in particular?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a bad, like,
I think
at its core, it's not a bad
very
thing.
good thing. No?
Yeah. I mean, we need to talk about multi-level marketing because it is a scam of all scams.
No, wait. Let's no.
We'll
scam
get
is
into
not legal. They're multi-level marketing.
It's deceptive. How about that?
Yes, that's better.
Okay.
Right, because it's legal. It's out there, right? There are some illegal ones. I'm just saying these are multi-level marketing, and you're right. And that's what we're going to get
But
into.
there has to be something about it that is attractive to Christian women. And what is that? And why are they attracted to it?
We've experienced a lot of it.
Yeah, we have. I mean, my family has. And there's been times where Sarah and I have talked about whether or not, like, some of them look real good.
Some of them do. I don't think this one's a multi-level marketing, but my very favorite one that I just want to get because I used to work for them is Cutco. But that's more sales. But I just remember they ask you to make a list of the people you knew. But I was like an 18-year-old high school student, and man, they're amazing. I want one.
Those knives are amazing.
I want one, and I'm being so obedient because, like, I have a job now. So you would think I would have gotten it. Look at me being a good wife. I haven't gotten it yet. I just thought Len's listening early 6 o'clock. Hey, babe, love you. Christmas is coming.
I remember as a kid, I was in high school. One of my friends, as he was approaching college, was a Cutco rep, and
they're amazing.
He came over and did a demo. He cut a quarter in half or something.
Yeah, we did that. Well, no, you can't do a quarter. That's illegal. You could do a penny.
Well,
you
whatever
cut
he
a
did.
penny.
He didn't do that. He cut a penny. I don't remember.
That was super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it a few times since.
And they're like,
it still works.
Guaranteed for life. Oh, I love those.
Because y'all know we're struggling with our knives. I got some cheapo knives, and they're not cutting anything.
But the difference there is you're not bringing people in and making money when they make money, right? You just sell. And you sell to the people you know.
And so, for those who aren't familiar, the acronym is MLM, not pyramid scheme. There is a difference.
Yes, there is a big difference.
Because pyramid schemes are illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is multi-level marketing? Okay, so multi-level marketing, according to the article we got in front of us here, or network marketing businesses, use its distributors, also called representatives or recruiters, to sell products. They use word of mouth to get these recruiters to bring on additional people who can then distribute to a wider audience. Recruiters are compensated with kickbacks for the sales made by their downline or the people they recruited underneath them. So if I'm in it and I recruit Janelle, I make money when I sell products and I make money when Janelle sells products.
Right.
The difference with the pyramid scheme that is illegal is that with the MLM, one of the big differences, there's a product in between. When you get me in, I have to purchase a product. You don't get paid just for you recruiting me.
Right.
That's where the illegal thing would be.
But what's interesting here is the line is so thin between multi-level marketing and pyramid schemes that the Federal Trade Commission keeps a real close eye on things. In fact, to make it really close to home, in 2016, a prime example of this would be Herbalife. A lot of people are involved in
and
Herbalife.
It looks tempting, right? That's the ones that has the vitamin pills and the
I don't know.
smoothies.
Yeah.
When I see people talk about it, I mean, I have kids. I want them to eat healthy.
I've seen people
Yes.
lose a lot of weight with Herbalife.
Right.
Been very good for them.
Well, but however,
Right.
in 2016, they were forced to settle with the Federal Trade Commission because and they had to restructure their business model because it violated rules and was acting like a pyramid scheme. And then they had to pay out $200 million to people who lost money due to their shady business practices. Now, to make it even more complex, is it always looks like it's very profitable for the downline. That's why people do
All
it.
the time. That's why it works. Right.
But according to one study by AARP,
Okay.
so it's not like some Jimmy's studies group or
Right.
something.
Right.
They found that 73% of participants either don't make money or lose money.
Yeah.
That number could be as high as 99%, according to a report by a longtime consumer advocate who studied multi-level marketing. So it's anywhere from 73% to 99% of people downline in multi-level marketing either make nothing or lose money.
Yeah. I've heard that only 7% make money, so it'd be 93% from the study I heard, and I thought that was attributed to the Federal Trade Commission.
Yeah, it probably could be. It wouldn't surprise me based on, I mean, that would be a reasonable number based on these two numbers that I have in front of me.
But obviously it's working. I mean,
It's working in a sense that people want to do it. There's
people
something about
still-
it
Right.
that is excessively attractive to not just women in general, but I think to Christian women, right?
Yeah. Christian women in particular. Yes.
That's why this is such a funny Babylon Bee article.
And for very good reasons.
Right.
That's,
Yeah.
and the conversation we're having now is important because it's for good reasons. It's easy to overlook what's being played, like what's being taken advantage of, right?
Yeah.
Our motives, like why are we vulnerable to things like this?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I mean, Christian people are loving people who are forgiving people, and that can often translate into people who trust, and that can be taken advantage of.
Right. Well, no, I also meant both sides.
What do you mean?
Yes, Christian people, they trust, they want to help. Your network of friends want to help, want to support you. But then the idea that it's selling, flexible hours, unlimited earning potential, the opportunity to be your own boss. There's something in the Christian woman that wants that.
Right, because she wants to be able to stay at home and raise her kids,
Right.
and to take care of the home and the family,
Right.
but also to contribute. She's got that Proverbs 31 model that she's striving after, and this seems to be like, wow, the perfect scenario.
Right. And as in your network, why wouldn't Auntie so-and-so want to support that?
Yeah, well, and there's even some practices in the midst of this article we have in front of us about multi-level marketing, where it's called MLMs are a nightmare for women and everyone they know is what it's called. There's even some peripheral consequences to this. So again, we want to know, in a real sense, what is it about? We've mentioned a few things, but what is it about multi-level marketing that is so attractive to Christian women that this Babylon Bee article is funny about monopoly? That the Christian, the church edition is where women on the game board try to recruit everybody else into a pyramid scheme.
Right.
And Sarah and I laughed out loud at that yesterday.
Ethan in Akron, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Hey, good. So what do you think? What makes it so attractive?
I have a couple ideas. I did Cutco almost a year. And I know as a man what I'd ultimately like to do when I have a wife. And I understand there'd be a lot of work in it. But I would love for my wife to be able to stay at home, be with my kids. And when I was at home as a kid, my mom was there. Dad worked all the time, and that was really great. And that's what I would like to do. So I think that, like you guys were saying, that it would probably seem like a really great opportunity. And I think another thing that I experienced that would probably be true for everybody is that there was a real sense of community, because with Cutco, you start with the people that you know, and you reach out to them, and you're like, hey, I'm doing this thing, and they give you the pitch, like, oh, you're helping me with school, or you're helping me with this or that, or whatever, and they do, they reach out and they help you, and it's really cool at first to see how many people I had known for a while that I hadn't seen, and even if they didn't buy anything, it was like, oh, it was nice to see you, nice to spend time with you. And then I reconnected with a lot of people that I had known, living in different places growing up. So for me, it was like a big sense of community and reconnecting with people, and kind of realizing like I should reconnect with people like when it's not about money or my job, and then seeing how many people are willing to help me and get together. And it's like, I don't really need the Cutco thing to see these people, So,
Ethan, the point you're bringing up is one of the main points in this article we found that talks about how multi-level marketing can become a nightmare. And a lot of people get in for that exact reason. It talked about, like, for example, one woman's a stay-at-home mom, and she just felt isolated. And getting involved in one of those created a social group for her that she didn't have. And it sounds kind of, and you're also saying, hey, look, you find out who really cares about you when they get involved in this. So why did you get out?
There were people there that were nice, but I always have this thing, every time I step out into like a new place, if you think back to like elementary school when your parents dropped you off and you didn't know anybody and nobody cared that you were there, your parents didn't know any teachers or any friends. I have that feeling so very often.
Yeah.
Being introverted, feeling oriented, I'm like lost.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty good with making friends, but I didn't make friends there. Like I got along with them.
Yeah.
But to be straight up and honest, like it was like a little bit cliquey. And what I'm saying is that I reconnected with the people that I already knew, like my friends. So what I'm saying is like, if you go out and try it, maybe you'll be, maybe you'll make new friends. I mean, I think it's always good to step out, but probably I feel like the church is a really, really safe, sure way to safe. I mean, it's a good place to connect with people. They're out to do similar things,
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like, it's the people that I had known, that I reconnected with. My sense of community wasn't from there.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is like, it revealed something to me that was already there. They taught me, organize myself, call these people on the phone and set this up. And what I'm saying is like, I can do that anytime.
Right, right. But I get what you're saying, because you got to see in your community and your friends and family, people who wanted to support your dream, whether it was to go to school or anything like that, right? So you got to see tangibly those who supported you and loved you.
And in fact, somebody might even say that, yeah, I lost money or I broke even, but it was worth it because it helped me find some friends or reconnect with friends. And so I'm with you on that. Ethan, how long have you been in the Moody Radio family?
Started listening in 2015, so is it 4 years or almost
Oh, that's cool.
almost 5 years?
Bro,
Yeah.
we've been hanging out here
Time
almost
flies
the exact same time.
Yeah, awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Ethan. Thanks for your honesty on that. And I think that really is a part of the draw of it. There's a natural community. And to be honest, if we're thinking about the best kind of marketing, I'm not a marketer, but I know in radio, the best kind of marketing is not a billboard, it's not an event, it's word of mouth.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Word of mouth is the best possible marketing in any field you can get. And think about it. Like a church group is one of the most powerful. It's a group of people with something in common who get together regularly. It's a gold mine for word of mouth marketing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it so practically like that, but that's why I think some multi-level marketers target perhaps Christian women.
Tim sent a message on Brian and Janelle on Facebook, and he says, not to be critical, but I think we need to quit speaking in generalities. Not only do Christian women want to be their own bosses, work flexible hours, contribute to the household, the same statement can be made about just about anyone. Who wouldn't want to be able to do all those things because they're attractive to everyone?
Yeah.
Unlimited income, flexible hours. The problem, in my opinion, with MLM scenarios is that family and friends tend to get taken advantage of as the primary source of sales because they're wanting to help establish your business. There's different ways to look at that. Somebody could say, well, if I think a product is awesome, I would tell you anyways, right?
Yeah, but then your friends know that it's not just that you love a product and you're saying, "Oh wow, you should check this out. I'm really glad I made this purchase."
Yeah.
It's you're trying to make money.
Yeah.
And so there's an inherent motive behind there that just doesn't feel as comfortable as you just saying, "Check this out, I loved it."
Right.
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 But I think I'm glad Ethan called too, because there is something about this that does hit men too, where it's the side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're a hardworking provider or whatever your role is in a family, like you want a side hustle to help cut the edge off of maybe some debt or whatever. I have this desire. Music was my side hustle for many years.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to work on a new one. And so it's like,
Yeah.
we all want a side hustle.
Yeah, we do. But why should we be mindful? If it's like, oh, it's a side hustle. If I'm listening to you and I'm in one of these, why does this conversation matter?
Well, I think it matters because we need to find out the reason behind this attractiveness, primarily to Christian women, of multi-level marketing schemes.
Yeah.
Because I think there's something good behind it that can be redirected.
John in Cleveland, good morning. You're on the air.
So I have two ideas that I like to share. The first one, I believe the first reason why it's so attractive or appealing to Christian women, and when I say this, I promise I'm not trying to score points with Janelle or any of the other Christian women that are listening.
Okay.
But I think the first point is that most of the MLM models are highly intelligent.
That's what I'm saying.
The way
Good
they're
job.
set up.
Yes.
And so because of the way it's so my wife and I, we have 7 children. We homeschool.
Yeah.
I have 5 girls.
Look, you're even more awesome. Look at you.
Yeah, I have 5 girls and 2 boys. Not that the boys aren't smart, but it's something about my daughters whereby when they see something that is smart and intelligent, their imagination is turned on immediately. And I mean, even in conversation, if you're not saying something that's smart or intelligent, you might lose them after a while. And I think that's something that appeals to women, specifically Christian women. You think about my daughters are also avid readers. My wife made it a point to read to them since the early years. So they read. I mean, they consume books like water.
Yeah.
And when they read, their imagination is captivated, right? It's highly imaginative, especially when the authors are they write well. So again, it's intelligent.
Yeah.
So I think if these models are intelligent in their presentation, that captures the imagination of Christian women. So I think that's the first point. And the second point, I believe your earlier caller alluded to this already, it's highly relationship-based, a lot of these MLM structures. So, and God designed us for relationship, both men and women, but women get relationships and the importance of relationships. And when these MLMs offer this model that is both highly cerebral or intelligent, and then it's relationship-based as well, that's the winning ticket, right? And so I think on the onset, if your model is set up in that way, you're going to capture their imagination and their interests. And, all the other things apply, wanting to contribute to the home and the Proverbs 31 woman concept, all of that applies. But I would say the intelligence and the relationship-based structure is what really captivates their imagination. There's a movie, and this is loosely connected, I believe, but there's a really great movie that I believe illustrates some of that. It's called The Prize Winner of Defiance, Ohio.
Yeah.
It's about a woman who makes a living submitting jingles and ads and answering cutting coupons and really being creative.
Yeah.
And she's really good at it. And in the middle of the movie, she meets a group of other women from across the state who are into the same thing, and then they all get together, and she drives 2 and 3 hours just to connect with these women who are doing the same thing. And again, it was just showing you how intelligent, creative they were. It's a really great movie, but it's not necessarily an MLM, but I think it illustrates the point of how both intelligence and socially and relationally women can be appeal to these types of arrangements or business models.
First of all, John, I just think you're amazing. You're one of my favorite people. You can tell you're a great dad to all your daughters.
Right.
But the other thing I wanted to say, I thank you for acknowledging how intelligent we are as women. You're awesome. But on that, do you think that our emotional needs and even emotional IQ, like our EQ, is making us vulnerable, and maybe that some of these companies are exploiting that part of us to capitalize on our network of friends and family? Like, do you think that's something we as women need to be mindful of?
Absolutely. I would also, so to that point, you think about commercials, right? And advertisements. A lot of those are largely, I would argue, directed and designed for women consumers. They're male consumers as well, but our imagination is sort of easy to appeal to. I mean, if you just, you can, Brian, I'm sure Brian can, what's headed with that.
Oh, yeah.
But for a female consumer, a woman consumer, you're going to have to dig a bit deeper.
Yeah.
And really get to the heart or appeal to their behavior, right? And their thinking. And so all this money that goes into advertisement, again, it's largely exploitation at the end of the day. And MLMs and those who put those models together, I think, have figured out the emotional, intelligent piece of that. I think you're exactly right, Janelle, that I think we should be careful and mindful of that tendency or that temptation to really exploit how we are driven emotionally or how we react and respond to a great many things, especially when it comes to getting involved in a business.
Now, it's uncanny, John, because, Ron and I were going to say all of the exact same things that you said the last few minutes.
Pretty much.
All of it.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. Great minds think alike. Sure. Right.
But to be honest, no, that's not true at all. Like you actually gave some really insightful, thoughtful things behind this, and you hit to the core where I'm going at. I don't want it to seem like what's wrong with you as the thing. It's actually what's right about Christian women that makes them vulnerable to this.
Right.
And I think it's actually well-intentioned and good-hearted. And so, and John, you, I love the call, bro. How long you been in the Moody Radio family?
Maybe 2-3 years. I remember you had, I used to listen to you and your former co-host.
Kathleen,
Cindy and Fred. For a while.
Awesome. Well, you're the man, and I'm glad I get to hang with you today, sir.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And look smarter because of you.
I wanted to kind of get, before we ended this conversation, get to the whole thing of why the importance of being mindful. Let's say if somebody said, oh, you get a job, even a part-time job or whatever, we wouldn't talk about this. You just get a job and you go work. Why with these kind of quote-unquote side hustles should we be mindful of how our strengths or weaknesses make us vulnerable or how they may be exploited? This text gets a little bit of that, and I wanted your thoughts. It says, I think there's a tendency for Christian women to try to do it all. It is not enough to be active in the church, raise your kids while your husband works, take care of the house, get everyone where they need to go. Oh, and you have to make money on top of it. This second part is the one I was thinking. These organizations can make women feel as though they need to sell products and recruit people at every family gathering and play dates. Sometimes I have to avoid people because I didn't have money to buy their product, but I would have really liked to connect with them. I can't buy 50 foundations or 20 wrapping paper and still stay home with my kids. So I have to avoid those people from time to time when I really like them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the thing that this article where Sharon kind of shares that, how some of our relationships for good intentions, like we want to take care of our families. And then on the other side, our families want to support us. But it could really sacrifice our friendships and our relationships. And is that really what we want? And you may not even realize it.
Yeah.
While it's happening, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because you're not thinking about the relational consequence. What you're thinking about is everyone keeps bringing it up, but there's a specific part of Proverbs 31 that I think, and remember, this is the ideal woman, okay?
Yes.
And so,
she did. I don't think she existed.
Right. When you look at 31:16, she goes to inspect a field and buys it. With her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She's energetic and strong, a hard worker. She makes sure her dealings are profitable. Her lamp burns late into the night. She's got a side hustle. Mm-hmm. And it's a profitable side hustle. And in the midst of that, all the other parts about her, she's sewing, she's taking care of kids, she's running her household, she's managing this. It's impossible. It's an ideal, but I think it's the woman's heart, right, that wants to be just like that.
Yeah.
To do it all.
Right.
And it's a noble thing to want to do it all and have that side hustle, but you don't think about the relational consequence.
Sometimes it's required, because sometimes we could sound like, well, y'all just want to do it all. Like sometimes women are in the position where they have to take care of the house and take care of things outside, like get a second job to help and be a good helpmate based on wherever your relationship is at.
And you know what? We've been there.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this before, but Sarah stayed home with the kids for 11 years. And you make sacrifices for that.
Right.
And we ended up, just because of circumstances of kids' health, we ended up with some medical debt that we couldn't afford. Mm-hmm. And so we had no choice but either me to get another job and never be home.
Right.
Like me get a side hustle, or her to get a side hustle. And so she got a part-time job. Mm-hmm. And you know what? It was a family decision. It was the right time, but it was out of a real need and a real desire.
Right.
You see, and so that's where this comes from. And a lot of these multi-level marketing make it seem like you almost don't have to do anything. You just be you, hang out with your friends, and you help support your family.
And I saw it with my mom. It's so not true. I mean, by the time you go to all the meetings and do everything you're doing, even if you're towing kids around, you do end up a lot more busy than you expected.
Right. There's not a lot of transparency on the actual hours you invest and the actual profit that you bring back in.
Yeah. Jim in Cleveland, good morning. You're on the air.
Thanks for taking my call. I don't know if anybody's kind of approached it from this other flip side, how you guys are saying, and many are saying, that the saleswomen are sort of being exploited. But I look at it, too, that the saleswomen are exploiting their friends sometimes. Whenever I'm approached from a friend or acquaintance, you start a conversation and they're being pleasant, and all of a sudden hey, do you want to buy this or that? It just kind of, in my mind, knocks them down a notch, like, wow, that's really what you're after, this conversation or this friendship. And I don't know if anybody's ever experienced that sort of end of it. It's kind of leveraging your friendship and making people feel somewhat obligated to purchase from you when something they probably don't really even want anyway.
You are not alone, Jim, in that. In fact, you're saying probably the hardest truth of this whole thing.
Yes.
Is that I know that many of us in life end up somewhere where we go, how did I become this? Like you didn't mean to. Yeah. And I think you're right that on the receiving end of this, and my wife has talked to me a ton about it. She's unfollowed people on Facebook. She's refused to buy products just out of the principle of it because she feels taken advantage of.
But it's sad though, because behind that is a woman that just wants, just like Sarah, wants a second job and be available to her children.
No one gets into it saying, I want to
whatever.
take advantage of my friends.
Yes.
But what happens is you end up doing that, and then your friends feel taken advantage of, and it actually hurts your relationships.
Yeah.
And that's what you're talking about, Jim, right? Is you feel used by someone who's trying to get you to either buy or become a rep for their product.
Yeah, there is, and I think maybe that isn't always the pure motive, but I think that's the way it's even marketed to people as, you meet these people anyway, why not approach them for products they already want to buy? And I don't think that's really what goes on in people's heads and motivations of it all. It seems like it's an easy way to kind of set up a home business without really doing sort of the hard work of setting up a home business.
Yeah, and that's a harsh reality too, though, isn't it? Because nobody in their right mind, if they were going to start a business and look for investors, no investor in their right mind would invest in something that the vast majority of people make no profit and actually lose money. That's not a business model that anyone would invest in.
Right.
And yet multi-level marketing, based on studies by AARP and others, as we mentioned earlier, found that 73% of participants either don't make money or lose money, and other indicators could be as high as 99% don't make or lose money. Nobody would invest in that business model.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's just kind of a distraction to real friendships. And yeah, I'm glad you see that side of it too. But thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, no, Jim, insightful point. And you said the hard thing before we did, so now people can get mad at you.
Yeah. Wow, Brian.
I'm just kidding. No one's going to get mad at you, Jim. But that's at the heart. I think we hardly got to scratch the surface of this.
Yeah.
But isn't that at the heart of where you are on this?
Yeah, because I was in that position years ago, like 20 years ago. And I saw my mom in that position. But I have a heart for the women and men that are in the MLM, that are in the multi-level, because their agenda isn't to take advantage.
No, not at all.
You know, a lot of times, I don't want to call it victim, but a lot of times they're part of the whole situation that's set up. It's like above them. All they're trying to do is just make some extra money. And all friends are trying to do is support. It just presents a tension that a lot of times sacrifices friendships.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they might
sad.
have gone, oh no, I just bought $2,000 worth of Pampered Chef or Herbalife.
Thank you for
And
yes.
I've got to make my money back.
Yes.
Right.
Or I'm going to hurt my family.
Hey, hold up. Where are you going? You know you like your time with us. You want more. So look down, hit that button right there, subscribe, and you'll get updated episodes, and then you can hang some more.
And guess what? You can help us. How? A 5-star rating. Not 4, 3, 2, 1. No, 5.
You can also hang with us live, weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. Interact with us, talk with us. Download the Moody Radio app.
Or at brianandjanelle.org.
And we don't put all this together all by ourselves. There's some great people behind all this production. We want to thank Ron Eastwood, Kelly Ryder, Paul Carter, Doug Hayner, and our awesome and fearless leader, Josue Villa.
And finally, this podcast is a production of Moody Radio in Cleveland, a ministry of Moody Bible Institute.
Well, Brian, that's a wrap.
Yep.